Hi everyone, and welcome to the Four Take Movie Podcast. Is it four take or four takes? Shit. Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Four Take Movie Podcast, where four lifelong friends get together in one of their houses, round a table, to talk about movies that mean something to us. Movies we enjoy, movies we like, movies we think are controversial or crap, but something that we've all done together or all seen at least.
Yep.
Huh?
There's usually four of us, but one of us isn't here today because he's got the sniffles or something like that, or the craps. I don't know.
The runs,
Maybe he's
probably.
had a dodgy dinner, and he's sitting at home now, just sweating on the bog. Who knows?
Oh, he's going to be gutted he's not here to defend himself.
You know when you're on the toilet and your leg just starts shaking like that, you're bouncing one of your legs up and down because it's just like, I wish I was dead.
When is it going to be over?
I wish I was dead.
I've been here too long. One of your legs has gone numb.
Gone to sleep.
You've got pins and needles in your feet because you've been sitting on the toilet that long.
Wow, that's some in-depth sort of recall, that, Martin.
Well, we've all
been there.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Right, so today we're going to talk about The Matrix.
Ooh.
And our first impressions on the day, seeing it in the cinema. So...
Me, you and David.
Yeah. We haven't introduced ourselves either.
Well, we'll do that now. So my name's Martin.
My name's Luke.
And I am Adam.
And David is not here.
David's currently on the toilet. So we wish David luck and wish him a speedy recovery from whatever is moving through his gastrointestinal tract.
Yeah. Good luck, dude.
Godspeed.
So, yes. So let's get on to the topic of the Matrix, because I think we're somewhat digressing.
Well, let's pick up then. So it was in the year 1999.
Was it 99, was it?
1999, the Matrix came out. Same year as The Phantom Menace. Get your can off the table, man. All you can hear is you scraping your can all over, man.
So,
It'd be a bit more professional on him.
yeah, very sorry. So, yeah, 1990 was the year it came out. But I think
1999.
no, oh yes, 1999.
1999.
Because was it? There was a lot of hype. I remember in 1998 as it got released, because I think they dragged it out quite a lot.
It got released in 1999.
Was that when it was actually?
That's when it was released.
Right. I'm sure I remember like.
I don't remember any build-up for it, mind you.
I think it was a bit of a sleeper hit. It was quite a big budget movie at the time. So I think the budget for The Matrix was about 70 million. Mm-hmm. Which at the time in 1999 is probably not as high as, for example, things like The Phantom Menace, was probably at a budget closer to 100 million. Mm-hmm. But it was still not a small amount for a couple of directors, the Wachowskis at the time, who basically only had one other movie, one sort of mainstream movie under their belt, which is a movie called Bound. Which was a studio, because they went to Warner Brothers the studios with the idea of The Matrix, and studios liked the idea, but it was like, who were these two though? So I think they had to almost like go and make a movie, prove themselves. So they made a movie called Bound, which was with
Jennifer
Tilly and Gina Gershon. And that Cypher guy.
I just remember Jennifer Tilly.
And the guy who plays Cypher in The Matrix was in that as well. He played like the main antagonist.
Is that Joe Pantoliano or
something like that? It's Joe Summit. It is Joe. I'm not sure if I say his second name right, so I just thought I'd admit it.
We'll just apologise for
butchering his name.
Butchering his name, yeah. Pantoliano.
So based on the
I'll have another go.
Based on Bound, which we should all watch at one point because it'd be a good movie to talk about. Because you can see elements of the Matrix in that, with like some shots where a bullet flies past Joe's head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see it and then hits like a picture frame on the wall. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was done. Then the Matrix came out, and the day we saw it, we went to the cinema. There wasn't much hype about it, really. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we jumped on the 160 or the 163, and we went out to Bolden Cinema, which I think was a Virgin cinema at the time before it became Cineworld.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we went in to see this movie. We watched the movie, and we came out changed human beings.
It was that good.
It was that good, and I think because we weren't expecting it either, and also I'd never really seen anything like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bullet Time. Mm-hmm. Maybe it happened in some form, but like not like that.
It was definitely a cult sort of film, wasn't it? As I said, because it was
a cult movie with a mainstream budget.
Yeah, but when you look at it from sort of reflecting back, where you said it yourself, like it was an experience that totally like changed you. It was more like I always got the feeling because of the way it talked about. Like it ruled out religion, so instantaneously it became.
Did it? I thought it was very.
It was. I thought it was. There was a lot of religion and theology.
I mean, the Nebuchadnezzar, I'm sure, is a name from the Bible. Mm-hmm. Morpheus, I'm sure, is a name.
Because it's the resurrection story.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No. Now I see that. Yeah. But I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Four Takes podcast.
But I don't necessarily. I didn't necessarily see. It played into an atheist's mindset a lot easier because it didn't. It was totally stripping back a lot of that religious sort of.
I just enjoyed it. Really, I thought it was.
Well, I think I know what you mean, because if. Like there was a lot of ideas, and it was connecting them all together, because there was like there was reincarnation. So it was like Buddhism and meditation. The kid
the whole idea of prophecies and
bending spoons and all this. And
but the difference was between.
Stop tapping your fingers on the desk.
The difference was between the actual like the differences was like if you looked at like the bending the spoon and things like that had happened, everything had an answer in the Matrix. Everything had either a reason, but like if you look at like religion today, there's a lot of stuff where you go, well, there's no defined answer.
Well, yeah. So it kind of it was creating answers to big questions that people had, like what is deja vu? It's a glitch in the Matrix, like that kind of thing, and all of these, and they said there was a man or there was somebody who came before who.
It's basically it's telling the story of the second coming of the Messiah, really, isn't it?
But not really.
But not really.
Yeah, but not really getting into the thing, and it kind of alludes to all of that, but it never specifically says that this is what it is. So if you're of a religious disposition and you're watching that film, you're going, all right, I get this and I know what they're doing. But if you're not religious in any way, you're just watching that film going, this is cool. Yeah. So it kind of worked on a lot of levels. I remember reading a book, and it was and it was and it was all about the Matrix and the like the theology behind it, and it talked about all these stuff, like all the different levels of the ideas and how superficial and how deep it went into some of them and how superficial it went into others, and it was quite interesting. I can't remember what that book was called. It was something like Religion in the Matrix or something like that. But it was good.
That was a really deep sort of one to dive off on for a first sort of like, Well,
the movie's got a lot of themes in it that range from, sort of like mythology to religion to philosophy. It leans heavily into a lot of different things, and they're explored probably more in the second and third movies. But the first movie is the best movie, and personally, I think they should have. After seeing all of them, I kind of feel that's a movie that should have been left at one.
Yeah, I'd totally agree with that, because there's a point where I always thought when we watched the other versions of like the next versions of the Matrix that are released, they were kind of somewhat rehashing a lot of cinematography and certain styles of shots, and there was very little else coming that was new. Or, you know, I think the groundbreaking thing in the first one was actually explaining the story of the Matrix and what it was, but it kind of like lost momentum in the second and third and so on.
I do feel like the payoff by the time the third one finishes, it wasn't enough. I do think it just kind of fizzled out at the end.
Yeah.
There was a massive fight while it was raining, great, but it was
Yeah,
Everyone looked like they were made of rubber.
because I think
special effects at the time. Well, most of them actually. If you look at all of those, do you know the bit where the Matrix Revolutions, which is the third one, and this Uber Agent Smith and Neo are facing off in the Matrix, where after Agent Smith has converted everyone or copied himself onto everyone in the Matrix. So there's literally just an Uber Agent Smith, Neo, and then billions or millions of other Smiths.
He turns himself into like a giant sort of like...
No, that's the game, mate. That's the Path of Neo. Don't worry about that. I knew exactly where you were going to go.
I was going, didn't he turn himself into like a giant sort of like Megazord or something like that?
That's the PlayStation 2 game, the Path of Neo. It might have been on other consoles, I'm not 100% sure. But basically, they couldn't show... How do you show that sort of like self-sacrifice in a game back then? There was probably a lot less. It was a lot harder to show that sort of thing in a video game back in the day. So they made a decision to go, what we should do though is just make him into a Megazord type of thing where all the Smiths come together and create this massive Smith which you've got to destroy. But no, that's the Path of Neo.
What does it call it? A kaiju? Is that
kaiju? Yeah. But yeah, in the sort of in this final face-off, when you talk about the rubber faces, all of those people in the background, only the first row is real, and then the back rows are like basically dummies with rubber heads on.
All right, so that's why it looks a bit.
That's why everyone looks a bit rubber, because literally they've just got like loads of people just wearing rubber masks in like some of the wider shots to save on, I suppose, the cost of CGI.
Well, the Warner Brothers originally wasn't very favourable. I believe I read that they weren't all that favourable. I think they offered them a budget of, I think it was like 10 million to shoot the first Matrix.
Possible.
And I think they said that they didn't think it would be very good, so that they didn't give it as much money as it should have had. But the way
I think that's why they had to go off and make this other movie called Bound.
Yeah.
Because I think the movie Bound came about because I think the Wachowskis owned the idea, and they wouldn't budge on what they needed. I might be wrong here, call us out, but I think based on that they had to go off and prove their salt, prove their worth, or show that earn their salt, and they made their movie Bound. And if you've ever seen Bound, it's great. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I've never watched that yet, so
I've got on Blu-ray.
Well, I might be lending that off you. But also, like, it's cool to think that, like, we could have been discussing this now, obviously, and the centre character, like, you kind of got to give it up to Keanu Reeves, because he actually does pull all of that. I mean, his acting career has been all over the place up until the point of, like, doing The Matrix. It was, he'd had, like, comedy roles and things like that, so it was like, I think it was probably one of his really first deadly serious roles in sort of this sort of thing. But
I mean, he'd done things like, he had done other action up to that point, things like
Point Break,
Point Break. And when did Bram Stoker's Dracula come out? That'd be 90.
That would be like 95, 6 or something.
Yeah, so I mean, he'd done all that before that, but I almost kind of feel it was waning a bit, and then this it's really brought him back into the forefront. I mean, by the time, I think he's still the highest paid actor.
Yeah.
I think he got for the Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Reloaded, I think he took home like 150 million.
I think the studios offered the part out to, I think, Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Leonardo DiCaprio was offered.
Was he?
Apparently so.
An interesting thing, I heard someone's point of view on Keanu Reeves as an actor, and they went, he's not a particularly great actor. I disagree. I think he's a good actor. But this guy's point was that he plays his roles in such a way that anyone can see themselves in that role and can put themselves in his shoes. So he's kind of like an avatar.
And every man's sort of actor.
Yeah. So you can look at Keanu Reeves and go, yeah, I can totally see myself in it, because, you know, he's not like the typical, he's not Leonardo DiCaprio. You watch Leonardo DiCaprio on screen, you're like, that's Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's being all charismatic and all that. And Keanu Reeves isn't really that charismatic, and I think, and that's why he's really good in that role, because when you're watching it, you're just watching a guy going through this absolutely mental process, and you're putting yourself in there, and I think that's why the movie's so good as well, because it's like that. It's like that other one.
I think
It's quite common to watch.
He's
though,
probably still in the era of like action stars being absolutely ripped to bits. Well, I mean, if you think about The Matrix is probably, I'm going to be controversial here, my second favourite sci-fi movies. Mm-hmm. No, maybe my third favourite sci-fi movie of the 90s.
You're going to have to tell us the first and second now.
Well, I think personally my second would be Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And my first would be Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, all right.
I think it's fantastic. I think Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger is like one of the best sci-fi movies ever. Mm-hmm. But like, in the space of like, well, it was 1990 or 1991 for Total Recall. Mm-hmm. I think in 1990. And then in the space of 9 years, where you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger ripped to bits, you know, knocking the crap out of people in the most violent way. It's a proper violent movie, Total Recall. Mm-hmm. And then by the end of that decade, you've got like an everyman, sort of like in the main role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
someone who
no one can beat Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if they got like somebody who was ripped a bit to be Neo, like somebody like, I don't know, Dolph Lundgren or somebody like that, and it would have just been another boring, like action film, wouldn't it? Even if it had been exactly the same but with a different person. Mm-hmm. But I think you needed to have the guy who was believable as the burnt out computer geek at the beginning, and then somebody who's sort of like an absolute kick-ass ninja by the end, who's the second coming of Christ.
But I think the casting was just amazingly well done, because if you look at the characters as well, like, you know, the Morpheus character, they've obviously said, well, you have to have a tone of authority and believe in what you're saying, and you are the one that is going to tell everybody to believe in X, Y, Z.
He was like the character who had a handle on everything that was happening.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it has all to do with, like, you look at his stature, you look at his build, he's a big fella, you know, you got that feeling like he carried a good weight of authority. I mean, if it had turned out to be like someone like, you know, the little dweeb kid that, you know, that was there, if he was put in the same role, you couldn't, it's not a believable thing. It's a bit wild. But then again, he could have pulled it off.
I don't know who Morpheus is in mythology. Who will Morpheus be?
Some fella.
but all the way through the film, he's like
a teacher. He's like a mentor, isn't he?
Yeah, you always find out without too much. I mean, there is a lot of exposition in the part where he's telling Neo what the Matrix is, and he's, you know, and it's reducing you to a battery, like, and that's probably the biggest bit of exposition that he does. But he's always there, kind of revealing the truth.
Yeah, he's a guy pulling the curtain back, isn't he?
And when he's revealing the truth to Neo, he's explaining new parts to the story to the audience, and that's where like Neo and the audience are the same person.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's based on a character from. Lawrence Fishburne was instructed to base his performance on a character from The Sandman, Neil Gaiman's book.
It is a character out of a Neil Gaiman book.
I don't know if he's a character out of a Neil Gaiman book. He was advised to base his character based on a character from The Sandman.
Can you find out where Morpheus, the name, comes from? We need someone like Jamie.
Ancient mention of Morpheus occurs in Ovid's Metamorphosis. I'd imagine some ancient Greek. Yeah. Morpheus, derived from ancient Greek, is a god associated with sleep and dreams.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a dream world.
Wake up, Neo.
Well,
Yeah.
see? Mythology.
So what we
Another interesting part. Do you know what you're talking about? Like,
it's essentially a modernized version of
The Sandman.
well, yeah.
but another really interesting thing, because we're talking about religion and all of that. Knowing what we know now about the Wachowskis,
Yeah.
and the transgender now, Switch, the character, the blonde haired,
Yeah.
Switch was supposed to be a male in the real world, and then when she went to the Matrix, she switched to a
It was
female.
the mental projection of a digital self, was become to a female.
Yeah. So when they're on the Nebuchadnezzar, it was supposed to be a guy, and apparently the studio didn't like that. so that's why it didn't happen. But the name Switch kept, and that's why she's called Switch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, but
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So and when you're looking at, I mean, the other stuff, the Wachowskis did, like Sense8. Did you watch that?
I've never seen it. It was a TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really good, that one, and it was all about and everyone was like, everything in it was like very fluid. Like people could be one person and another person, and then they were taking over the bodies of each other, and it was that was really interesting. But that was the like transgenderism and all that was very much like an undercurrent. And they did Cloud Atlas as well, didn't they?
Cloud Atlas, and I think there was another director, the person who directed, I think, Run Lola Run. So there was technically 3 directors on that movie.
Right. Well, I mean, and it's like one soul occupying different bodies and different like that, and
different. Throughout time.
Throughout time, and that's kind of like what Sense8 was. It was like these 8 souls were all connected and were taking over each other's bodies and having experiences in each other's bodies, and you know, and it was really, really interesting. But Switch was supposed to be like, from what I understand, Switch was supposed to be that character for the film, which later we know, and eventually when the film became successful, and then they were able to like expand on that idea and do it in Sense8, and then, you know, expand on it again, I suppose, and do it in Cloud Atlas, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So like all these other ideas, and then, you know, you've got the red pill and the blue pill. You're talking about like mind altering drugs, and, you know, it was Morpheus. Sorry, was Neo really going through what he was going through, or was he just on a really bad acid trip? You know, you take the red pill, I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. There was some coincidence.
He's ODing!
Well, because there's that bit where he knocks it back, and then all of a sudden the mirror starts bending around, and he's getting covered in
mirror gunk.
Like, because if you'd shot that whole scene a different way, where he didn't, where the chrome didn't go down his hand and then down his throat, and he'd made the digital noise, and then he'd woke up in a pod. Like, you could go, well, he's in a warehouse with some random guy. He's just took a pill, and he could just be on the floor having like a fever dream. And the Matrix thing is just something that we all just watched an acid trip.
Yeah. They had to explain they definitely had to.
Because you don't know if it was true.
Yeah. I mean, they had to sort of give you the sense of belief that there was a journey that was about to happen between him getting there and how that was going to happen. I thought the mirror was a really good scene.
To be honest, I think the way the whole thing's done, I think it's just fantastic. It's I watched it probably just a couple of weeks ago. It was the first. I think my wife had seen it before, but it was the first time we watched it together. And I watch it and I think to myself, it holds up. It's just a good movie. She thought it was okay.
Do you know an interesting fun fact that gets looked over? I think coincidentally, I think on the passport for Neo, his passport actually, I think it expired on
Passport?
Apparently there's a passport in the film, and it expired on 9/11.
Oh, let's not get into this, mate.
Oh,
But I thought that was just
The Matrix.
we're not doing conspiracy theories.
It was no. It was just an odd sort of thing. But the things I loved about some of the film as well was some of the
Matrix, directed by the Wachowskis, produced by Bush.
Those weren't special effects.
Yeah.
He made it happen.
It was really cool to see like a lot of.
Oh, mate, September 12th. Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
11th of September 01.
Yeah, scary stuff, man.
Yeah, was that right?
Yeah.
When did September 11 happen?
2001.
When did
Yeah, it was-
September 11?
Yeah, it was 2001. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's just like The Simpsons all over. But no, some of the stuff in the film, like
Give our, he's not wrong.
Martin's down a rabbit hole now.
Look,
He's took the red pill.
look at the expiration date.
yeah, it's yeah. Well, the
11th of September.
I think I've just blown your minds.
Bloody hell.
But there's a lot of things in the film that I really do like about like just because I probably relate to it.
Capital City, USA.
Yeah.
I probably relate to it by what I do for my day job, and like coding is like a thing. But when you look at his setup, he uses a Microsoft ergonomic keyboard. And he's opening shots when you start it all off, and all of that sort of setup for a lot of people who do
at the
time was totally like, yeah, this is what they weren't trying to say he's an amazing coder or anything like that. They were just saying no, he's just doing the run of the mill all the time every day, and that's what he does. I think a lot of people.
Well, that was his office job, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean.
But then that was his office job. Was a software. Was he a software engineer for a software company or something like that?
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
At night.
And then
You even take your landlady to cut her garbage.
And then there was. That's way too good. But there was other stuff.
It's the face he pulls after he says it. He just goes.
Yeah. But there's other things as well that we do forget about, like we like floppy disks, yes, but people forget zip disks. Do you remember zip disks?
No, the big chunky floppy disks.
Yeah, there's like things like that throughout the film.
Or is that in the game? Is that in the film? Like,
I think.
oh,
I think,
what does
yeah.
he get when he at
he-
the beginning? When
someone
someone comes to the house, he comes to his flat, and he's like dealing in this contraband, which is like looks like it's on. Do you know those Sony mini discs?
Yeah.
It looks like it's on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things.
Anyway, we're not even talking about the movie anymore. We're just talking about random keyboards that people used in the movie and stuff like that.
Yeah, but my point was, it was more or less, yeah, keep on topic.
Keep on topic.
Keep on topic. Anyway, Wachowskis.
Yeah.
What was your point about the keyboard on him?
It was just the fact that a lot of the design sets and everything like that.
Neo probably had repetitive strain injury from typing and using a mouse.
I mean, back in the day, though, those Microsoft ergonomic keyboards were bloody strong money, weren't they?
Oh yeah. I think they were about 80 to 100 quid or something like that.
And that's for a keyboard.
Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's a bit of money.
Aye.
Probably not for the kids these days.
Burning. Oh, it's your fire. It's your wood. He's like, what's that smell? I'm having a stroke.
No.
I'll just check and make sure.
I'm getting a bit of a smoky.
I'm just thinking really hard. That's what it is.
That's Luke playing with his log burner. Anyway, Wachowski's pulled off as a really their first real mainstream movie after Bound. It was as high as they'd ever get, and they never got that high again. Mm-hmm. Although, to be honest, one of my favourite Wachowski movies, Speed Racer.
Right.
Speed Racer. It's part of the topic.
We're still talking about Wachowski's. That was.
You got to loop this back.
Was that did they do that after the Matrix?
Oh yeah, that'll be early 2000s.
No, but did they do it between the first Matrix film and then the subsequent two?
I want to say they did it maybe after Revolutions, which I think Revolutions was in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 2006, 2007 for Speed Racer. I might be wrong. I'm going to check. Speed Racer.
Did they stop working together
2008.
after a certain period of time? Because they did a lot of work together, like them as
They
brothers.
mainly worked together, but then I think for the last Matrix movie, it was it Lana?
What? There's Lana and
Where we go?
Lily. Lana and Lily Wachowski.
Could be. The Wachowskis.
Because it did. I do remember hearing that, it was either projects that they would, like, it was good when all three of them committed to the project. It is,
Lily, you're right.
but I think over time they're starting to do their own sort of thing, and I don't know whether that's just down to the fact that.
Well, you all want to do your own thing, we're all individual people, aren't we?
Mm.
But yeah, it was a belter. I really enjoyed it. I still enjoy it now when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was some of the amazing stuff to come out of it was like Bullet Time. Bullet Time was amazing because it was like they were just breaking the mold with like, here we're gonna
as well. The really good thing about Bullet Time was the DVD extras, and for the kids who don't remember where DVDs were a thing. So that was when
DVDs are still a thing.
Well, I know, but at the time, DVDs were the new.
They'd just been released.
The new home medium format.
So I think I got my first DVD player in 1999 or maybe 2000.
Yeah,
The first DVD we got was The Matrix.
Yeah, I know. So the first
the extras on that were
Well, did you ever see a few years after they brought out The Matrix, they brought out like a special edition, and it had a documentary in it called The Matrix Revisited, which was like a 2-hour documentary. Mm-hmm. I remember watching that, and that made me love DVD extras.
Yeah,
I used to love watching a documentary of, buying a movie, watching the movie, and then watch it. I would go through every DVD extra, and then for a while it was a big thing to try and hide Easter eggs on your Blu-rays.
Yeah,
so you'd like try to go to the menu, and you'd be. This is obviously before you could just go online and find out what you wanted. You had to go to find a magazine, and there'd be like some section about what Easter eggs are there. Can you explore this week?
Yeah, I mean, the first one that I ever saw did Easter eggs was in The Matrix. It was on the Matrix DVD, and I think at the time you've got to remember this was 1999, and literally we went out to buy an Ariston DVD player because that was exactly the time.
DVD player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the exact time.
From Richer Sounds in Newcastle.
Yes, we were, and then we bought it, and we had no money left, and then we were looking, scratching through, and we found, I think it was £20, and we went and bought one DVD that we could afford, and that was the DVD we chose.
The Matrix.
And
it was in those. I remember it was in that. Do you know those cardboard flip ones with a little clicky plastic thing on the end of it?
Yeah. And there was two sides to the disc.
Yeah, because they hadn't
Widescreen.
done the. Oh, they did the widescreen in the 4.3.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
Some of them you had to turn the movie over halfway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we got Jerry Maguire,
and that was
around the same time as well.
Yeah, that was.
I remember you watching that with your mum actually.
I remember the
Without
beginning scene.
without realising that 2 minutes in the movie, there's just like was it Kelly Preston getting scudded against a wall like Tom Cruise.
By Tom Cruise, right? And I was like, oh dear me.
Pass the popcorn.
Yeah, that was a
Hi,
good.
Mom.
That was a good film. That one, I like that one.
Aye, that's a good movie.
But yeah, the Easter eggs and stuff that you used to get, I think that really did spur on. I think the rest of the industry to sort of like start putting extras on and like commentaries and stuff like that, because
they're becoming less and less common on films nowadays.
Yeah,
like you buy a Blu-ray and there's almost nothing on it. I remember when you first got DVDs, it came with a chapter list, a little paper thing with a chapter list on it.
It's because everyone's just streaming stuff now. It's a massive shame, really.
I love the physical media as well. You know, I've got absolutely bucket loads of. I've got shelves and shelves of just like Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks. I've even still got some VHSs.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever watch the VHSs?
They're in the house. I've got two VHS players in the house as well, just not plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I've even got all my old consoles. Got all the PlayStations. Mm-hmm. I've got. My sister-in-law's got me PlayStation 4 at the moment. I've got a Sega Master System. I've got a Spectrum. Mm-hmm. And I've got, God knows what else I've got in there. It's got the Spectrum with a little tape deck on the side of it.
Oh, yeah.
A little plastic grey one. I used to have the rubber one, but I don't know whether the black one with the rubber keys.
Yeah.
Spectrum ZX, I think it was called. I don't know where that went.
Oh, that was a little one, wasn't it?
No, a little black one, yeah.
So,
with the rubber keys, yeah. It was canny.
I think after the finished filming, the first one, because there was a lot of injuries on that film. There was Keanu Reeves damaged his
broke his neck, didn't he?
Yeah,
no, this happened before. So Keanu Reeves was having an issue with his spine, and he was basically becoming paralysed. So I think he had to get two of his vertebrae fused together. But that was before The Matrix.
Oh, was it?
Because there's video footage of him training, isn't there? With like a neck brace on, like giving it this.
But there was someone else who damaged their ankle.
But that was Carrie Ann Moss. She was doing like she was practicing for a particular scene, and she was doing the flip, and when she landed, she just when you turn your ankle and your leg's still vertical, but your foot is now parallel with the floor.
She just obliterated it.
But she didn't break it. It just sprained. But they were doing a lot of their own stuff as well. They were doing all the wire work.
She was doing it in high heels as well.
She was doing it in high heels as well. Hard going that. Don't know what the men will complain about. But like, when you're in those sort of situations where the actors are trying to take on the responsibility of making it as realistic as possible, they've been asked, of course, and they've taken on that challenge. You're going to get banged up, aren't you? I mean, you're going to accidentally get punched in the face by Agent Smith or something like that.
Yeah.
You're going to take a few blows. You're going to get scuffed up. I mean, they were talking about it being they would do a shoot and then be in ice baths, wouldn't they? Trying to
get the swelling down.
Trying to get the swelling down. Yeah. So
a nice touch that I think Keanu Reeves did at the end of the filming of the first Matrix was I think he got paid about 75 million for it. And
not the first one. You're talking about the second ones where he started giving everyone like Ducatis and stuff like that.
Well, no, I think he gave a lot of the money away on the first one, I believe, because he gave some money to the visual effects and costume teams.
He might have on the first one, but I know he gave away a lot of his money on the second two because he got like 150 million for the second. I think he only got about 7 million for the first one, but I think he got 150 million for the next two.
All right. Mm-hmm. But no, it's it's quite a nice thing to do. I suppose it's probably why when people go to work, you end up with a good product at the end if they know they're going to get
nicest man in Hollywood.
Yeah, nicest guy.
Yeah, easy.
But I think we should, at the end of every podcast, I think what we should try and do is.
Oh, here's another one fun fact just before you get there. Mm-hmm. Do you know the Matrix Code? Mm-hmm. It was actually a sushi menu.
Was it?
Yeah. And it's sushi recipes. Sorry, it's sushi recipes, I believe. I read that the other way.
Just jumbled up.
Yeah, it's that's what it is, and that is the cornerstone of how You look at how cyberpunk's formed over the last 20 years. So
Off the back of a sushi menu.
off the back of sushi code falling down the sky and making, and being adapted from, what it was then into cyberpunk, which is what we have now. It's really clever.
Well, what I was going to suggest was at the end of every podcast, because I think we're probably nearing the end of it now. It's been on about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
If we all say what our favourite moment in the film is and our least favourite moment, you can start with whichever one you want.
Martin.
Okay, my favorite moment in the Matrix is where Morpheus is explaining to Neo what the Matrix is. He takes him back into the Matrix, into this is the construct, and he's taking him through like how AI was created, and his final little monologue is basically turning us into batteries, and he shows the little Duracell battery turned backwards. Mm-hmm. I think that's great. The worst bit, and I'd hate to say it's down to the movie itself, but I think it's down to the performance. Mm-hmm. Is the bit where a character goes, very exciting.
Tank.
It's
my least favourite part as well.
I hate the delivery of it. Don't get us wrong. I could never do it myself. I'd probably look crap doing it.
I would have liked to have had a crack at it though. I think I could have done it better.
I just hate that bit. It's just like,
yeah,
little like tense up he does.
Yeah,
it's just like nah. Sorry, mate. If you're listening, you won't be. I'm sure.
No wonder he didn't get asked back for the second one.
I tried to boycott the next two, didn't you? Something like
boycott the Matrix.com.
Boycottthematrix.com.
Aye.
Anyway, go on. Adam.
So I think.
Come up with a new, with a new one.
No, you can stay with that as well.
I think looking, reflecting on it. It is hard because a lot of the film is good and it's got really good.
Just say what your favourite bit is.
Well,
put me on the spot. Go away.
Yeah, it was. I would have to say my favourite part is the transition between him becoming his basic transition from the real world to sort of like the Nebuchadnezzar. So with the thing going down his throat and then him waking up in the pod. Yeah, and it's that is a good shot. Like and it's not just that. It's like the drawn out scenes of obviously like it's exploring where he wakes up, and it's that little bit of a journey because it takes you on a journey and you're like, whoa, this is new, this is different, and that's what really gets us. I think my least favourite part is, I would say, it's. Yeah, I think you're kind of on the right thing. I think it's some of the scenes with Tank and Dozer. I think there were some characters that didn't see a lot. Tank and Dozer, as characters, I don't think they were bad characters. I just think that delivery of that line was horrendous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah.
It's like stuck out like a sore thumb. It was horrible.
But it should like the certain points of it. But I did obviously like it where, like, what's your least favourite bit? I'll give you a very specific favourite bit and a very specific least favourite bit. I can't. If you haven't got one, just don't say it. Luke, you see yours, and I'll see if I can have a bit more think.
All right, okay.
We're going to be on an hour.
We're going to run out.
Right.
We're going to run out of tape. So I would say my favourite bit is probably the restaurant scene where Cypher's eating a steak. And he
like a bit of ASMR steak eating there.
No, I hate ASMR, and my next bit is going to be something that I don't like, which is kind of in a similar vein. But the bit where he's sailing everyone down the river because he wants to get back into the Matrix.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, and he goes, "I want to be someone important, like an actor." Yeah. And I love that bit. And apparently, I'd read recently that Keanu Reeves fought for that scene to be kept in because everyone thought it was such a good scene and they were going to cut it out. And the other actors went, no, you've got to leave it in. And for me, that was one of the best bits. And that steak looked amazing.
Steak, good looking steak.
Yeah. But I think he's a vegetarian and he never actually ate the steak. He ate something else. So the steak you see on screen isn't the steak he hides in his gob, it was something else. My least favourite part is I don't like whispering. Just generally, like the noise of whispering goes through us like knives.
The bit where they have to turn the lights off while the squiddies are coming towards them.
Well, there's that bit, but the worst bit is when he's completely he's Neo
On the bed.
Neil's being like, you think he's dead, where he is dead.
All right.
And Carrie Ann Moss
It's whispering.
is whispering in his ear, oh, you're the one, it was always you.
Because I love you.
Yeah, you can't be doing because I love you. And it's all like that. And it goes right through me like razor blades. And I really struggle to watch that scene because of the way that she's being mic'd up and the fact that she's whispering and it's all...
But that's you because you're a bit of a sound nerd and a sound ponce. That's what you
Probably. But that's the bit that I don't like. Yeah, so the bit I do like...
I hate ASMR videos.
Oh, no, I hate it. I absolutely hate them. I know, like, some people be like, it fires all the neurons in all the good ways, and I'm like, no, I want to die here watching this.
I'll occasionally watch ASMR videos, but it's not ones where people speaking. It'll be like the sound of something.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
if someone's speaking or someone chewing is horrendous.
Yeah, certain sounds like mic'd up. Do you know, like that kinetic sand, cutting through kinetic sand?
Yeah.
And it's like...
I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's actually, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all the plosives and the fricatives and the...
Right, keep on topic. Adam.
Yes, the one part I did not like is the part where he was bugged, and it's not just the bugged scene. It's where it's obviously extract the bug from his stomach.
Is it the whole belly button thing?
It's the belly button thing. I think you've got to be honest. There'll be a lot of people who probably.
It's like a body horror sort of moment, really.
Yeah.
It's
because it's something I don't know. It's just it sets me away.
Okay. Idea for next movie. How about something? Because seems like it would really make your arse itch. How about something like some sort of body horror movie?
Hellraiser.
No, I was thinking maybe like The Fly. David Cronenberg's The Fly or something like that.
That is a horrible film.
I know, but it's a good film as well.
It is.
It's a good film, but it's horrible.
Who
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Gina Davis.
The Substance. I've watched some of the extras off that because I know what's going to happen in it.
Have you not seen it?
No,
it's very good. I enjoyed it.
But I'm watching.
I went to cinema to see.
And it looks like they've done a lot of practical effects.
Very much practical, yeah.
And I'm going, oh god, it's like it is very Cronenberg.
There's a lot. Well, to be honest, probably one of my favourite genres of movies is a horror movie. Mm-hmm. But I believe that 99% of horror movies are crap.
Yeah.
And there's only some good ones. But I really enjoy a horror movie. So I've watched a lot of body horror and stuff like that. So I watched the Substance and I was just like, I don't know, people are whinging about it.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's tripping.
Everyone's tripping. Like, this is fine. This is like Blast Out. This is like a Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot worse than this.
People who are watching this never watched any films in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, some of the movies in the 80s.
RoboCop.
Have you ever seen? Oh, RoboCop's fantastic.
That was horrendous.
I mean, that whole like melted man bit. He gets run over by the car. Help me. Condom fingers. Have you ever seen a film called The Society? Where a man literally puts his hand up another man's arse.
Yes.
I'm glad to say I have not seen
his
that.
Eyeballs and then turns him inside out.
I have seen that, yes.
I have not seen that. I am glad I have not seen that, and I will not be reviewing that film.
Yes.
But then there's like...
It's not nice.
I find stuff like that, body horror like that, doesn't really put us off at all. I think the things I find is the more like realistic violence. That's where I start to cringe a little bit. Mm-hmm. Well, and they're generally not horror movies. They're like thrillers about serial killers and stuff like that.
One of the worst ones is the that film of Edward Norton where he plays a far right character. What's it called?
Oh, bite the curb.
Bite the Curb.
American History X.
American History X, yeah.
Honestly, one of the worst things I ever saw on screen, and it's not like you don't actually see much of it happen. Have you ever seen the film Zodiac about the actual Zodiac killer?
No.
There's a bit where, and it's a true story, you know this happened, where he ties up a couple, and while they're tied up, he starts stabbing them.
Oh my God.
And it really happened. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's filmed in a way where for the most part, you don't actually see the knife ender. Similar like how Hitchcock did the shower scene in Psycho. Mm-hmm. But it's just horrible. Mm-hmm. That's what makes my skin crawl. Body horror, I'm fine with. But stuff like that, where it's like...
Because you like, because it's make-believe, isn't it? And then when you go, actually, this is what... This is...
I was Fincher on it, Zodiac.
Charlie, was it, what's that film with Charlie...
Chaplin?
No. What's he called, man? Really famous English actor. Get Carter.
Oh, man.
Charlie.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. What he was in a film called Charlie. Was it like Charlie Brown or something like that?
Harry Brown.
Harry Brown. That was it. And
that was all the pensioner, and he goes on like he tries to take out the gangs.
Yeah. Fantastic film. But I saw the first 5 minutes of that film and turned it off because I couldn't watch it anymore.
Or the old fella in the tunnel.
No, the woman in the park, and there's someone driving around her on a motorbike, and they like shot her, and it looked real, and I was like, I can't watch this. This is horrible.
It's because things like are more realistic, are a bit more. They're a bit more jarring, aren't you? Like horror movies are meant to be over the top and ridiculously violent. Whereas if it's more realistic, realistic violence, you see, that's where you start getting cringe, I feel.
Yeah, I somewhat disagree with the fact that they all have to be violent. I think
and this is not cringy as in how young and say it nowadays. This is cringe as in I'm actually recoiling. Yeah.
But I think I can somewhat disagree with the fact that not all horrors have to be violent or like, clinical. Because I think that's what a lot of them are. But you can get horror films which are...
I think...
Which you can get horrors which are boogeyman under the bed sort of thing, vibes, where it's just basically, is something going to happen? I don't know. I feel like I'm on the brink of something bad.
That's suspense. But
you can have a horror that's full of suspense.
I'd say that 99% of horror films that try to build up suspense don't manage it. That's the problem. They're easy, they're cheap to produce. They're easy. And no film is probably easy to make. But you can make a horror film easy. Like cheap, sorry. And sometimes they're just pumped out. They're just pumped out for the sake of it. It doesn't make that good.
Wasn't that...
Sorry, lads, we may have to wrap this up because we probably will run out of tape.
Anyway, yes, let's just call it there. So,
well, horror next time.
But something more, not just shit horror, like good horror, and maybe something
classic.
A bit
classic
horror, like the Thing or something like that.
I love that one.
What was it? Did you ever see the Triffids?
Day of the Triffids.
The 1960.
I'm sure
it was really old.
I'm going to have to record an outro separately after this.
But I know that's there's loads of versions of that. It's basically the Body Snatchers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any road.
The Matrix. Go and see it.
Go and see it. It's been out. Buy it on Blu-ray or DVD or something like that, or VHS.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film.
Right, okay. This has been the Four Takes podcast. I'm Martin.
I'm Luke.
I'm Adam.
And we've run out
of time.
And tape. Turn it off.
Bye.
Bye.